Stardew Valley. You've heard about it, I've heard about it, everyone has heard about it. The surprising smash hit game made by one guy out of love is well known and loved by many nowadays. In case you've been living under a rock on the moon in another universe for the last almost 2 years, yeah, that's right, almost 2 years, Stardew Valley is a Harvest Moon-like game originally released on PC back on February 26th, 2016. It's basically a labor of love by one person, Concerned Ape, and it is wonderful. If you haven't played it yet and you like Harvest Moon or games like it, get over and play it right now. Oh, wait, this video is a review of the Switch version, so I guess I should tell you whether to get it on Switch or something else. Okay, so don't get it right now, wait until the end, then decide. Some quick information before we get into this little review thing here. 1, this is a review only of the Switch port. If you want to know more about the game itself, look for some other review, there are plenty out there. 2, I have only played the PC version before owning the Switch copy. I am aware that some of what I mention here is also an issue on the console versions, but I haven't played those yet, so whatever. 3, I love you. Okay, so this version of Stardew Valley was released 3 days ago at the time of writing, and after playing a decent amount of it on my way home from vacation and on the toilet the past few days, I think I have a solid grasp on how decent the port to Nintendo's tablet with a controller is. First things first, how faithful to the PC original is it? Well, it's a direct port, as most things are nowadays. All of the content is one-to-one. It actually feels like they just took the PC version, moved it onto Switch, and removed some of the options from the options menu. Hell, use controller-style menus is even in this version, more on that later, and the right analog stick actually acts as a literal mouse. Again, more on that in a minute. Because of this, the only real discerning factor in which version to buy, or whether or not to get it if you already have it on another system, are the mechanical differences of it being on the Switch. And oh boy, those are not very fun to look at. First and foremost, I want to take a look at the Switch as a console and the features they worked into the game based around them. The Switch is both a home TV console and a portable one, and because of that, it has a lot of potential features that they could add to make life a bit easier when playing the game, or to simply spice some stuff up. The touchscreen and gyroscopic Joy-Con controllers, for example, could be used to great effect, almost like some PS Vita ports of other games. It's unfortunate then that this game capitalizes on none of the features that the Switch has to offer. Outside of being able to undock the system and play the game while I go take a dump or sit on a plane, which is an inherent feature of every game the Switch has and not something unique to Stardew Valley, this game fails to use any of the Switch's hardware to its advantage. When I first booted it up and started playing, I expected to be able to hit the little exclamation point for the quest log with my thumb, since the Switch uses a touchscreen. But no, I had to use the minus button or scroll the mouse over with the right analog stick. The fact that the mouse exists in this version is more than enough to point at the usefulness of a touchscreen integration. Inventory management, watering crops, picking up crops, so many actions could have been mapped to you simply dragging your finger across the touchscreen while in portable mode, giving you both the portability of the Switch and the ease of use that the keyboard-mouse combo has for those kinds of things. Sadly though, it's a completely missed opportunity. And that's before we get into the minor insanity that is donating anything to the museum. For some reason, you can't just use the directional buttons to choose a square while doing this. You have to click and drag with the cursor using your analog stick. It's baffling to me that something so easy to notice as an ease of use feature was ignored. I can't find anything anywhere online explaining why this wasn't implemented, so I can only assume the developers didn't want to dick with it. Maybe this issue was related to the fact that using controller-friendly menus doesn't work properly though. Yeah, there's a bug where using the controller-friendly menu option that snaps the cursor to the grid of the inventory will not let you properly scroll through menus, particularly the crafting menu. It simply will not let you select certain items. This can be fixed by entering the cursor-only mode, but that mode is irritating as all hell to use on a regular basis, and turning it on and off is a waste of precious time. At least the devs have come out and said that they are patching this soon. And with that major flaw out of the way, I want to talk about the other giant pulsing oozing zit on the face of this game's Switch version: the save times. While I wasn't expecting anything like the PC version's almost instant load times, I wasn't expecting this. That was sped up simply to keep you from getting bored, but it was a 21-second save screen. That's simply unacceptable. Sure, it says that it could take a while and to trust it isn't frozen, but without at least something moving on screen, even a bouncing dot or the effect that the green save text has, I am constantly thinking it actually froze. On top of that, there's no reason that the game should take this long to save. On PC, it's instant. Here, take a look. I've read that the PS4 and Xbox One versions take upwards of 10 seconds or so to save, and while that is also unacceptable in my opinion, it's at least twice as good as the 20+ seconds of the Switch version. I did read that the reason for the long save times has something to do with an older bug that corrupted save data, and that the save process now makes a backup as well in case such a bug arises again. But I couldn't find any confirmation on that, so who knows. Maybe leave a comment if you do. Either way, this save time every single time you sleep for a night is insane and not fun to sit through. I'll list some other minor annoyances and bugs real quick that I hope get patched. Entering the community center drop-off lists and backing out replaces alt text with the item you last hovered over. Back out all the way to fix, but it's annoying. You have to click and drag items into the community center. Why can't there just be a turn in applicable items button so I don't have to constantly click and drag with no touch controls? A few times when pressing the block button with my sword out, my character would suddenly face down instead of blocking. Clearly a bug, but it didn't happen all the time. When it did though, it happened in rapid succession. The tool hit location lies sometimes. If you're roughly between two tiles and you do an action, it will sometimes do it on the one not outlined by red lines. This happens incredibly rarely for me, and so I have no footage of it, but it also happens on the PC version. It's just more annoying on the Switch version where you don't have finesse over your cursor placement. The energy bar doesn't show numbers unless you mouse over it. This is incredibly annoying as moving the cursor sucks, as I've said numerous times now. Give me an option to toggle the numbers permanently. Also make them prettier, because right now they are ugly as fuck and hard to see. Add in a screen safe zone option. I can only record in docked mode, but you can see the UI is not nearly as far to the edge of the screen as it could be. On portable, it goes all the way to the edge of the screen. This is incredibly annoying once you notice it, and I really hope they add in a way to change it. So overall, what is my final verdict on the Switch version of Stardew Valley? I would say that right now, it isn't really worth your money. The insane load times, lack of a touchscreen integration, and weird bugs make it an objectively inferior version to the PC release. Now, if they patch in touchscreen use of the cursor for stuff like menus, planting, and harvesting, I believe I could look past the save times and come to think of it as the better version, as it'd be able to go to the toilet with me. Of course, PC will always have mods to make the game look nicer and have better writing. I use plenty of these on the PC version myself. But the portability is incredibly nice, and if they just polish it up, the Switch release could very well be equal to the PC version, even with its lack of mods and stupid long save time. So I say, wait and see if they polish it up. If they do, buy it without any regrets at all. If they don't, well, at least you didn't waste your money.